welcome to Yoga in Salt Spring for a beautiful fall day in October. We're going to do a series of poses today which will help with the health of your heart and also work on those that help build your immunity. So both of those are great for this season that we're going into. Let's begin with these props. You're going to need a bolster if you have one. If not, a pile of blankets or some cushions would be fine. A blanket over the top, a mat of course, a chair if you have, a couple of bricks and a belt. Now you can improvise with many of these things. An ordinary chair will do. I often use an IKEA kitchen chair which works fine, and if you've got one brick, most of the time that will be all you need. Alright, we're going to start in Supta Virasana, but you have a choice. I'm also going to give you Supta Baddha Konasana. So Supta Virasana looks like this. You begin with the knees together, feet apart, bring your hands onto the back of the knees, onto the calves, and roll them out to the side as you sit down. If that is too low, then you can slide a blanket or a book or a folded mat under the sitting bones. Then, with the bolster just behind you, about a fist's width away, press your hands into the mat, lie back. Oh, and the other thing that you might use is a belt loosely around the thighs. It doesn't need to be tight, just so long as the thighs don't go beyond parallel. So hips, knees in line is all you need to take care of. So place the hands onto the mat and allow yourself to lie back. So the bolster is coming into the lower back, coming into the spine to support you, and a blanket under the head, snugly around the neck. Palms facing up, shoulder blades moving in, and then one important thing is to take the flesh of the sitting bones down towards your knees. So that way you're not arching the back, hollowing the back. Everything is releasing down into your bolster. Palms facing up, close your eyes, and we'll be here for 3 minutes. Now if this pose doesn't work for you, I'm going to show you an alternative, so the rest of you stay where you are, and the alternative is Supta Baddha Konasana. So Supta means lying down, Baddha Konasana means bound angle. So the soles of the feet are together, knees out to the side. That's how I'm sitting in front of the bolster. You take this into a bigger loop, place the loop over your head, around the hips, and then around the feet. So what it looks like from the front, just so that you can see it, is around my hips, inside the knees, around the feet. Again, it doesn't need to be tight, it's just to keep the feet in place. Place the hands onto the mat, lift the buttocks up to get rid of any hollowing of the back, and then release the head down onto your folded blanket. Open the chest, broaden the collarbones, and allow the whole of the chest to release, the abdomen to release, the hips to release, down onto the mat and onto the bolster. Close your eyes and use your breath to calm the mind, quieten the mind, quieten the brain. So this is a pose you can take at the beginning or the end of a class, or you can simply practice this pose at home if you've had a long day, you're exhausted, and you're looking for something to re-energize you. So another few breaths. We're looking for about 2 to 3 minutes in these restorative poses. And remember that the back of the neck is long, so you can place your thumb on the jaw, your fingers on the skull, and lift the head up, release it down again so that the jaw releases down towards the throat. The back of the neck is long, the throat is soft. And then to come out, whichever pose you're in, which of the two, you want to make sure that you're going to come up evenly. So release the feet, bring the hands behind you and sit up. Sit tall, take a breath, release the strap, and then we're going to turn around and take the pose almost the same in reverse. So that's the same as the other pose. Adho Mukha Virasana is this one. So the bolster is in front of me. I'm going to bring it down. I'm sitting on my heels. I'm going to bring it down snugly in between the knees and between the thighs, and then this is optional for your head. So I want the whole of the abdomen to be released down onto the bolster. If it's too low for you, you can take an additional blanket and give it some more height, or you can even take two bolsters, whatever you have. So walk the hands forward, stretch the front body over your bolster. You can take the head to the side, or you can take the forehead onto your blanket. So this is again a restorative pose that allows the nerves along the spine to completely release. So use your breath to relax the body. The elbows can be bent, shoulders soft. And then after a while, if your head is to one side, place it to the other side. And take your attention to your breath in this pose. You can feel the lungs filling up not only to the front ribs and the side ribs, but also the back ribs. So as you inhale, feel the t-shirt expanding not only at the front and the sides, but over the back ribs. So this is a great way to expand the lungs more than you would if you are standing and focusing on the front body. There's more of your lungs at the back, and this way you can fill them up. So moving on, take the blanket away, come up onto all fours, and then bring the body over the bolster. Now we're going to take upward facing dog. So you want the palms spread out on the mat underneath the shoulders. The legs are reaching back, toes turned under to begin with. The legs are hip width apart, and the thighs and the pubic bone are resting on your bolster. So begin by spreading out the palms, rolling the shoulders back, lifting the chest, stretching the legs. So stretch the heels out away from you. Lift the kneecaps up. The thighs are still resting, but you're not resting the whole leg. The leg is engaged. So roll the head back, open the throat. And then for the second part of the pose, experiment with stretching out the toes. Same thing, inhale, throw the head back, open the throat. Keep the kneecaps engaged, keep the legs strong, shoulders rolled back. And now we're going to transition to downward facing dog. So turn your toes under, press down the arms, lift the hips up, and take some time to come into the pose. So stretch the arms, lift the buttocks up. You can even begin by coming up onto your toes. And as you release the heels down, see if the bolster is in reach of your head. If it isn't, then you can take your blanket or a brick, something else you might have handy, so that you can rest your head. So this is resting, Adho Mukha Svanasana, resting downward facing dog. And after a while you might find your head goes down further and you can dispense with your extra height. So watch that the back does not hollow. You want to keep the spine moving up towards the back waist, front navel towards back waist. And roll the soft elbow creases towards each other or even to the front of your mat. Engage the arms, engage the legs. If you find your weight is dropping onto your arms, bend the knees, lift the hips high, be strong in the legs by firming the knees, and then release the heels down, get more weight on the legs. And then walk the feet forward, the width of the mat apart, and press your hands into the mat if you can reach, otherwise catch the back of your ankles. And we're taking Uttanasana. Release the head down, keep the hips and the heels in line as you release the head down completely. And again, you might be able to reach if you have something to rest on, like a brick or a blanket. Elbows can be wide, creating lots of space in the side ribs, and imagine your collarbones moving down towards the mat. Collarbones towards the mat. And then press the hands into the thighs and slowly come up. Move the bolster off for the moment and let's take Tadasana, feet apart. Lift up through the crown of the head. And then we're going to bring the palms together, clasp the fingers, turn the hands inside out, lift up into Pavatasana. So be strong in the legs, press down the feet with the same energy with which you lift up the arms and press through the palms, the fingers. And now look up, throw the head back and look up. So keep the tailbone in, looking sideways, make sure that you're not pushing forward with the rib cage, but keep the tailbone in, keep the lower ribs in and look up. And release down, release the shoulders for a moment, and we'll take the same thing with the other grip. So grip the hands the other way. Turn them away from you, lift them up, and reach up with your shoulders. Extend the wrists. Press the little finger down, the first finger up. Bring the arms back towards the temples if you can, but go easy on your shoulders if they are too stiff for that. And then release the arms down. Take some circles with the shoulders. forward and back. And we're going to take Parsvottanasana next. So I'm going to fetch an extra mat. So that I can have a sticky mat on my chair. And I'm going to bring the chair onto the mat so that it won't slip, and have my brick handy. So we're going to begin with Uttanasana and then move on to Parsvottanasana. So Uttanasana we've already done. That was when we had a forward bend. We're going to do it again, this time having the hands on the seat of the chair, lengthening through the spine. So here we're also stretching the armpits, the elbows and the shoulders. So place the hands flat onto the seat of your chair, walk the feet back until they're underneath the hips and lengthen. Release the head down, look slightly forward, release the armpits down and the shoulders. This is a great pose for working your shoulders. Spread the palms, spread the soles of the feet. Watch that you're not clenching the toes. Allow the toes to extend and relax. Kneecaps lifted, thighs firm. Can you bring your soft elbow creases to face each other? Watch out for the back. Again, you want to suck the navel in towards the back waist. And then bending the knees, walking forward. Have your brick handy. We're going to take Uttanasana again, and this time a little closer to the chair, and you're going to release your head down and hold on to the floor or the feet of the chair. Now if your head is not going to reach, then take a brick or something that you can prop the head on that's a little bit higher. Again, hold on to the legs of the chair, and this way the brain is quiet. So I'm going to release that and just use the chair. Holding onto the legs is secure so the chair won't move away from you. Heels out, toes in. And then bring the hands up onto the chair, bend knees and come up. Tadasana. Next we're going to work on the shoulders one more time before we go back to the chair. So have the feet slightly apart, hip width apart. Clasp the hands behind you, and as you open the chest, reach the knuckles down to your heels. Open the throat. Drop the head back. Inhale. And as you exhale forward, bring the arms up and over. Up and over. Watch that your weight doesn't fall back on your heels. Keep it evenly on your toes and your heels as you allow the hands to drop closer and closer to the head side of the body. If you get any pain, move back, but you're in control of this. No one's making you go further. You have to be in control of your own threshold. And then inhale, slowly come up and release. Now for some standing poses. We're going to begin with Parsvottanasana. So with Parsvottanasana, we're going to join the hands behind the back in this way. them up as high as you can between the shoulder blades. And if you don't find this easy to do, it's worth persevering. It's not easy for everybody, but press the palms together, or at least start low and press the fingertips together. And then standing about 3 feet back from the chair, we're going to step the left foot forward, turn the right foot in. So you're squaring the hips, you're compacting the hips, and the legs are in a kind of scissor motion, not very wide apart, maybe 3 feet. Then inhale, open the chest, take a breath in, exhale forward. Drawing the elbows back, drawing the shoulders back. Come down until you're parallel to the floor, you've gone as far as you can. And then release the hands, take the hands down to the floor, and you may be able to rest your head on the chair. That might work for some of you. If not, simply keep the head parallel to the floor. So lengthen through the spine. Both sides of the body, left and right. You want an evenness over the pelvis. Feel what's happening to your pelvis. Can you slide the left hip crease back more? Lengthen the toes. Don't let them grip. Breathe. And then place the hands on the chair. Slowly come up. Step forward. Take a moment in Tadasana. And then bring the palms together again. Or your wrists, or your elbows, or your fingertips. And this time step back with the left leg. Turn the back foot in, square the hips towards the chair, roll the shoulders back, lift up the chest. Take a breath in. As you inhale, take the head back. And exhale forward slowly, with control, evenly on both sides of the body. Come down as low as you can, as far as you can, drawing the elbows back the whole time. If your balance is tricky, then press down on the inner foot, mound of the big toe and inner heel. Release the head, release the hands, and keep lengthening through that right hip crease. And then to come out, place the hands on the chair, bend the knees, step forward, Tadasana. Move the chair away, take your bricks to the back of the mat, and we'll take a few standing poses. So first of all, let's begin with Trikonasana, triangle pose. Tadasana, spread the feet, lengthen the toes, bend the knees, bring the arms to the chest, and jump or step into a wide stride, about 4 feet wide. Stretch to the tips of your fingers. Turn the feet to the right, left hand on the hip, and extend. Come down to your brick, which is mid-shin, and then begin to open the chest. As you open the chest, press the right buttock firmly in to open the front chest. Press the right shoulder blade firmly in to open the front chest more. And then look up. Roll the left shoulder back. And at this point you can choose whether you raise the arm or not. Sometimes it adds to the pose, sometimes not. Don't feel you have to always do that. Roll the thighs away from each other. And then take a breath, come up, toes forward, stretch out the fingers. Take a breath, toes to the left. Right hand on the hip, reach with the left arm till you come down to the brick, have it mid-shin, and again, open the chest. Lengthen the toes, no grip on the toes. Now this time the left buttock is moving in to help open the chest, to help roll the rib cage up towards the ceiling. And then if you choose, you can bring the arm up. So we're aiming to hold these poses for about half a minute. And in your own practice, you can do more, but half a minute is a good amount of time. And then to come out, press down the feet, inhale to come up, toes forward, heel and toe, and step or jump in. Tadasana. Next is Utthita Parshvakonasana, so you'll still need your bricks. Step or jump into a wide stride. Turn the toes to the right. Come down to a right angle. Make a square with your front knee. So this is Virabhadrasana 2. We can hold this here for a few breaths. Reach out to the very tips of your fingers. Squaring the front knee. Strong in the back leg. And then place the left hand on the hip. Reach with the right arm as if you were extending the whole front body across that thigh, and then bring the brick beside the ankle. You may have the upper height, you may have the medium height. Take what suits you and then roll the shoulders back. Again, right buttock moving in, right shoulder blade moving in. Roll the rib cage. Left shoulder rolls back. And you can stay here with a perfectly good chest opening. You can choose to bring the arm up above the ear for more extension. So now the extension is from the little toe side of the left foot right up to the fingertips of the left hand. Stretching all the way through the body. Energize the body with this pose. And then take a breath in, press down the feet, come up, toes forward, take a breath. Turn to your left. Right hand on the hip. First of all, we'll take Virabhadrasana 2. Watch that knee. Remember a few weeks ago we did the knee work. Make sure that the knee is still revealing the big toe on the inside of that knee when you look down. Right hand on the hip. Extend with the left arm way beyond the femur bone. Press your left hand into the brick and begin to open the chest. So now the left sitting bone moves in and you begin to roll that right shoulder back, and you can hold it here or you can bring the right arm up and over. Looking up under the arm, keeping the arm close to the temple. And inhale to come up, toes forward, and heel and toe, step or jump in. Take a moment to center in Tadasana. And next is Virabhadrasana Virabhadrasana 1 and 3. We're going to transition from 1 to 3. So we can take the bricks away. We're going to be using the chair. So have the chair close to the end of your mat. And we're going to do the pose off center. So stand first of all with your feet wide apart. To the right hand side of your mat. Have your chair ready on the left hand side of the mat. Take a breath in, stretch the arms up. Turn the hips towards the left. Lift up one more time, come down to a right angle. So the front knee is in a square, back foot is turned in. We're in Virabhadrasana 1, warrior pose 1. Open the armpits, lift the chest. Lengthen through the fingertips. Lengthen through the toes. Then to transition into Virabhadrasana 3, warrior pose 3, you're going to reach forward across your thigh, hop on the back foot, catch the back of the chair, and lengthen through the back leg. So you can grip the chair or you can stretch the arms out and the fingers across the chair, lengthening through that right leg, rolling the right thigh down to keep an evenness across the pelvis. Strong in the standing leg, strong in the outstretched leg. Suck in the navel towards the back waist. And then take a breath in, reach way back with the right foot, come back to Virabhadrasana 1. And then toes forward, step or jump in to Tadasana. Take a breath. I'm going to switch around my chair. And position myself on the left hand side of the mat. Legs about 4.5 feet apart. Stretch out the arms, take a breath in, lift up the arms into the beginnings of Virabhadrasana 1. Turn to the right. Turn one more time, pivot on the back foot as you open the chest some more, bringing the left hip forward. Inhale, come down to a right angle, square with the front foot, the front knee, and then reach up. Now to transition to warrior pose 3, you're going to reach forward, pivot on the back foot, perhaps do a little step in, come forward to catch your chair, and then stretch out the whole body, looking forward. Keeping the front chest open by looking forward. Stretch the left leg back. Stand firmly on the right leg. Suck in the navel towards the back waist. And breathe. Come out, bend the front knee, stretch the back leg way back, come into Virabhadrasana 1, and then toes forward, and step or jump in. Tadasana. Have the feet slightly apart, and close the eyes in your Tadasana if you can maintain your balance. Open the eyes, we'll move on. You're going to take 2 bricks and a blanket for the next pose. This is for the knees, so spread the blanket out for your knees. 1 brick for your head if you need it, so this is an optional brick, and this one is going to be for your shoulder blades. Paryankasana. I'm going to start with the knees together, feet apart, rolling the calves out to the side. Sit back on the heels. Sit back in between the heels rather. If you need a little height, you can slip a small height under here, perhaps a folded blanket. You don't need the strap at this point. Reach back and see if you can get the brick in the right place. It's going to be under the shoulder blades. So test it out. As you move the arms to the side, you want the shoulder blades supported by your brick. Now here's where you've got a couple of options. We're going to stretch the arms up, take them back far as you can, and then grip your elbows, release the elbows back and the head back. So you can see there's a very big opening in the upper chest. If that's too far for the head, then you simply put a brick under here to support the head when you take the head back. What's going on here? Put the head on the brick. If you need to support your head. Otherwise, bring the arms up, catch the elbows, release the elbows back. And then to change the grip, bring the arms up one more time, change the grip on the elbows, bring the arms over the back. Come out, lift the head, bring the hands back to the feet or to the side of your mat, and evenly lift the chest up. Rest for a moment, and then we're going to bend forward into Vajrasana. So bring the ankles together, heels together, knees together. So now you're in a simple kneeling pose. Bring the hands behind and come forward into pose of a child. Press the hands down to sit up. And then we're going to move on to Shirsasana. So this is the headstand part of the class. For those of you that do headstand, I'm going to recap headstand with you, but I'm not teaching headstand on Zoom. So anybody who does not have a regular headstand, I'm going to give you an alternative. Those who have a headstand, go ahead and take it. Elbows down. Clasp your hands, forearms firm. Walk the feet in, head down. And you can come up with bent knees or straight legs. Lift through the inner legs, inner feet. Keep the buttocks lifted off the waist, forearms pressing down, shoulders lifted. And then to come down, so I'm going to give you 3 minutes. But the rest of you who are not taking headstand, we're going to take our standing forward bend, for which you're going to need 1 brick or 2. And we're going to take a wide stride at the back of the mat. So Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward bend. Hands on the hips, Open the chest, inhale. Exhale forward, press back the thighs. Exhale forward, press down the outer edges of the feet. Exhale forward, lift the arches. And then place the hands on the floor or place the hands on bricks and lift the chest and look forward. As you roll the shoulders back, be broad in the collarbones, look forward to lengthen the spine. And this may be your stopping point, maybe your bus stop. And that's fine. So lengthen through the chest, lengthen through the dorsal spine, press the thighs back. Going further would mean bringing the hands down towards the floor, on the floor if you can, fingertips in line with the toes, rest the head. If the head doesn't quite rest, you can bring a brick under the head. And go for the crown of the head when you rest it. And you'll see that this is very similar to the position of headstand that you just saw. And then to come out, take a breath in, walk the hands forward underneath the shoulders, lift the chest up one more time, and then heel and toe to come in and back to Tadasana. So from here, we're going to take Ustrasana, which is a back bend, a back extension, I'd say. So for this one, you can have your bolster handy. So we're looking at the heart health in this glass. So kneeling on your folded blanket, I'm going to put the bolster across the calves and my knees are hip width apart. Put the hands on the hips with the thumbs at the sacrum. Roll the shoulders back, press down the shins. Take a breath in and open the chest. So we're simply opening the chest, rolling the shoulders back, looking up. And then release and sit down on your bolster. So this is at stage 1. We're going to go into stage 2 next. You want to make sure that the tailbone's moving down, the sacrum's moving down towards the mat, not lifting up. So second time, bring the thumbs to the sacrum, the hands on the hips, roll the shoulders back. Now keeping the thighs vertical, don't allow yourself to swing back. Take a breath in, open the chest, and then roll the shoulders back some more. Curl the spine back some more. And if you can reach the hands onto the bolster, let that support you as you take Ustrasana. If your head can't tolerate going back, then you keep the neck straight and look forward. And then to come up evenly, sit down on your bolster. And to neutralize the spine, again, bring the knees together, ankles together, heels together, pose of a child. Release the head forward. And come up. So next we have a chair pose, which looks like this. I'm going to have a blanket, I'm going to have a chair, I'm going to have a brick, going to have a bolster. So the bolster is optional, but you might find it helpful for your feet. So one more thing is the belt. So sit on the chair, bring the feet through the back of the chair. If you have a strap, place it around your thighs. Not too tight, just enough to keep the legs together. Put them on the floor for the moment. Keep the knees bent. And move yourself forward so the tailbone is quite close to the back end of the seat. And as you lie down, feel your shoulder blades, the two little points of your shoulder blades just resting on the seat of the chair. So if you can come this far, this is already a good chest opener. And you can press your hands into the seats of the chair, roll the head back. And here's the brick ready to support your head. Now you can feel the edge of the seat, as I mentioned, where the shoulder blades finish. This is going to be working with the upper portions of your heart. So from here you can either hold onto the chair and push back, or bring the arms under and catch the run of the chair if you have one. Roll the shoulders back, and you can choose now to extend the feet onto the bolster, or perhaps you don't need the bolster. So my head is supported, my chest is open, my heart is receiving a massage. And then we're moving into the second part of this pose, which is to allow yourself to slide down a little further as you take the brick to the second level. So as you place the head on the brick at its second level, you'll see that the chair comes into the lower chambers of the heart. If this is too much for you, then go back to the previous pose. Stretch the legs out, or rest them on the bolster. So this is a massage for the heart. To come out, place the feet on the floor, bring the arms out, hold onto the arms of the chair, press the elbows into the seat, and come up smoothly. Sit back onto your chair, and we'll take a twist. Turning to the left, bring your front hand over the side of the chair, the back hand to the seat, and begin to turn. Looking over the left shoulder. See if you can bring your shoulders to a 90-degree angle to your chair. The head is the last thing to turn. We're more interested in the trunk and the shoulders, shoulder blades, everything turns. You're wringing out the abdominal muscles and the organs. Breathe. And then slowly release back. Take a breath in the center, and then turning to your right. Make sure that the legs are parallel, feet are on the floor. Left hand to the back of the chair, right hand comes around to catch the seat and turn. As you release the breath, go deeper into your turn. Release both hands back to the center, sit tall. Release the strap and come out. options for the next pose. It's either chair savangasana, which is chair shoulder stand, or we'll do setubandha, which is opening the chest over 2 bricks. So I'm going to stitch my mat around this way. And here are my 2 bricks. The first one is up against the wall, that's for my feet. This one is going to be underneath the hips. So this is where you'll have 1 brick and you'll be adjusting it. This is where you're going to have the other brick. Okay? I'm going to demonstrate it to the side so that you can see more easily. So imagine that this is the wall. You can have your brick against the wall. I'm going to lift the hips up, slide this underneath the hips, sacrum, and then stretch the legs out and find that place where the brick allows me to stretch my legs. Opening the chest, rolling the shoulders back. This is the important part. Rolling the shoulders back, creating a Jalandhara Bandha in the throat. So we'll be here for a couple of breaths, and then to come out, press the feet down, walking a little closer towards your wall brick. Bring this to the upright position and place it under the hips, under the sacrum, and roll the shoulders under again, and then hopefully you can find your brick where you're going to place both feet on the brick. Open the chest. Some of you may like to have a strap around the thighs to keep them in place so that you can roll the thighs into the center with more ease. And then to come out, it's important to release the feet down first, lift the brick out, don't immediately come down, pump a couple of times, and then slide the hips down towards the heels, bring the hands over the shins as you're in Pavanamuktasana. A little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, and then roll over and come out. So some of you may prefer to do that pose, or you might like to do both. So this is chair shoulder stand, chair savangasana. So we're going to have this down here for the shoulders, little support for the head. And make sure you've got some good padding on the edge of your chair for the back. So this time the feet do not go through the chair, they go either side, legs go either side, and you put your feet over the back. Now for this you probably need a yoga chair. If you don't have one, the balance is often not correct. So you'd be better off doing the previous pose. So I'm going to come down, bring my hands underneath, catch the back rung, rest my shoulders on the bolster, my head on the floor, and the legs over the back of the chair. So this is a great way to open the shoulders, build a healthy heart, and be in an inversion which is supported on a chair. And again, you can hold this pose for 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Hugely beneficial. This is the partner pose for headstand. This is called the Queen of Poses, headstand, the King of Poses. Both recommended to be practiced regularly. And then to come out of this pose, I like to put my feet on the back of the chair and let them fall into Baddha Konasana. So the soles of the feet are together, knees are dropping out to the side, and there's huge support on the seat of the chair for the lower back. And then bring the knees upright, and as you come out of the pose, you're going to hold on to the seat of the chair and wriggle yourself until your hips are on the floor behind the bolster. So you wriggle down, holding onto the chair so it doesn't fly away. Hips are on the bolster, feet are on the chair, and this is a great place to finish with your Shavasana. So make sure you're warm enough, the knees are rested on the chair. You can either keep the feet directly in this direction with the knees supported, or have the knees out to the side. Roll the shoulders under, have support under the hips with your bolster, and let go. If you need a blanket over the top, make sure you're warm enough, and we'll be here just a couple of minutes, but of course you can stay as long as you are able. Take in a deeper breath. Bring the hands onto the abdomen. Bend the knees. Roll onto your right side. Press your hand into the floor to sit up. You've been able to follow along with me. Namaste. Till next time.